Hey guys, it's Tyler McKinney back here again, and it's that time of the week again. That's right, it's time to talk about some college football and my week 4 picks. Well, if you've been keeping track, I haven't been doing so hot. And last week, well, let's just put it this way. I got to 2-3 by the skin of my teeth. Right now, I'm 1 game under 500, but I'm looking to win some big games this week. We've got some really big matchups to talk about this week. College football is going to be a blast. If you love football, if you love college football, if you love good matchups, this is the week for you. We're finally getting a week where each little part of the day, whether it be the noon games, whether it be the 3:30 games, the 8 o'clock, 7:30 games, everything has something exciting to watch. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. My very first pick and the first game I want to talk about is probably the biggest one of the week and the one that's probably going to have the most implications going forward in the season, and that is number 11 Michigan at number 13 Wisconsin. Now, right now, Wisconsin is a 3.5 point favorite, and we're looking at this game, and this is going to be an interesting one. Wisconsin, if you remember, they got just steamrolled by Michigan last year, and so with bringing Michigan coming on into Camp Randall and going there, and I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here. For some reason, I don't know. I just feel like the Michigan offense, I think they're going to find some life in this game. I feel like that they're going to have some type of a coming out party. And I feel like the first 2 weeks, they just weren't able to put anything together because they were trying to run vanilla. They were trying to hold all their cards in their basket, and they really just got by the skin of their teeth, if you remember, against Army. And so they had last week off, and so did Wisconsin. Now, on the other side of things, Wisconsin has just been rolling. Wisconsin looks good. They look like the Wisconsin that we think they would be. Quarterback play this year is probably a little bit better, but all in all, a Wisconsin team that we know and we love and we'll see. Now, the one thing is, this is a noon game. This is not a night game. And so I think that plays into this with that. Now, there's supposedly be crosswinds and things of that nature. So if you're a guy that plays the line, it's definitely looking at going to the under. But I'm not going there. I'm going Michigan, and I'm taking the points. I think that the dudes on the Michigan side, I think, are just going to stifle Wisconsin. I think that some of the early games, the 2 games that Wisconsin put out there, are kind of a little bit of fool's gold. I think that Wisconsin really is the class of the Big Ten West, but I still think that Michigan has way too much firepower, and I think that they come out with this one in the end. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Michigan's going to win it, and I'll go ahead and take those 3.5 points. And if you look at it this way, 3.5 points, and usually if you look at if that would be moved to a neutral site, a neutral field, it would be probably an even split there for the line. So they really think that these two teams are pretty much even with that. But I just think that Harbaugh's got something up his sleeve. And the fact of the matter is in these big games against ranked teams, Harbaugh has not done well. He's not done well against the spread, and he's not done well winning. He needs to win this game and to keep really the Michigan faithful hopeful and to keep things really alive for him and going strong with the hype that they got going on with this season. So he needs to go the game. They need to step up. Michigan has to step up. They need to have a big game. Jim Harbaugh, he really needs this for his legacy with that, and really that's really about it right now, because he's known right now in Michigan. Yeah, he's brought Michigan back to winning 9, 10, maybe even 11 games in the season, but he hasn't been able to win the big games when it's on the line. And so be really interesting, to see how well that does. And really they need, with them bringing Graham Harrell on, and with that offense, and that they really need him to step up with that. So I'm going to go with him. And I'm going to pick Michigan in that first noon game. Another noon game, which is going to be kind of one that is going to be sneaky. If you like sloppy football, if you like just crazy, just Titans fighting each other, just blow for blow, and you just love a sloppy slobber knocker, defenses, crazy things happening, then you need to be watching the Michigan State Northwestern game. Now, Michigan State's rolling into town, into Northwestern, and Northwestern's giving up 8.5 points, and I will take those 8.5 points all day long. This game is going to be one that is going to be a low-scoring game, and I'm going Northwestern. They both like to play the same style of football. They like to play good defense, and they like to run offenses for some reason that do not do well at all. And Northwestern's offense is really down this year. Michigan State's offense has not played well. So I don't really see a whole lot of scoring here. That's why the 8.5 points is just too much for me. I think it's going to be a one-score game. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you're into that type of just crazy, just crazy sloppy, in between the tackles, run it down your throat, defense is stopping the game, coming down to the last possessions, and kicking field goals is your thing, then this is the game for you. And that's what I would tune into for the noontime game. Now let's go ahead, and we've got kind of one marquee game this week. That's going to be our 3:30 game. And that's number 8 Auburn going in, and they are playing Texas A&M. Now, that game's at 3:30, and Texas A&M is giving up 4 points in this game. And Texas A&M, I think, is a better team than what they're kind of where they are in the rankings, and it's pretty much just because they've lost so far this season. I don't think Auburn is as good as what they're made out to be. The fact of the matter is Auburn, in that Oregon game, Oregon should have won that game. They were a better team in that game, and it was like Bo Nix heroics, and they had one good drive at the end that really won them the game. Now, hats off to them, they won the game. But the fact of the matter is I think that this is, I don't know. I think that Texas A&M's got to get back on the horse here, and I think that they've got to win this game. Now, I know that Gus Malzahn, he's got this I don't know what it is. He's got this rabbit's foot that comes out every now and again, so who knows? They might come up and they might win this game, and that with it. And I'm looking at Texas A&M to win it, but in my pick, I'm going to go with Auburn, and I think that they're going to keep it close. But if I had to pick straight up, I would go Texas A&M. But I'm going to take the points, and I'm going to go with number 8 Auburn, even though I think that Texas A&M is a better team, and I think that Texas A&M is going to win. I don't know what it is. It's just the Gus Malzahn. I think he's just got that mojo going on this year, and I think that they could be a sneaky, 10-win team this year. So let's go ahead, and that was our 3:30 game, and that to watch. I think that that's going to be a fun one to watch. Let's go ahead and let's start looking at the later games, and I've got Oklahoma State at number 12 Texas. If you are looking for some high-powered offenses, just the ball slinging around the field, and just some electrifying football, this is the game for you to watch. Now, this is Oklahoma State going into number 12 Texas, and Texas is giving up 5 points to Oklahoma State. And if you know anything about Big 12 football, this is going to be a Big 12 football game. So if you've never tuned into a Big 12 football game, you need to watch this game. This is going to be exciting football. You're going to be on the edge of your seat the whole game. It's going to be back and forth. And it's really not going to be, are the offenses going to score like in the Michigan State Northwestern game? It's going to be, can the defenses stop anybody? And that's really going to be key in this game. I think Right now, I think that Oklahoma State is probably better than what they're getting credit for, and they just have their system. They know what they're doing. They know what they're running, and they're just going to go in there and they're just going to play their ball. And I just think they're just going to stay with Texas, and they might even give Texas a scare here. So for me, this one was a hard one for me to pick, and even at this moment, I'm still kind of up in the air about what am I going to do, what am I not going to do. But I'm just going with my gut, and I'm just going with Texas. I think that Texas is going to win by more than 5 points. I think it's going to come down to late in the game, but I think that Texas is going to have the heroics, and they're going to win probably by somewhere like 7 to 10 points. They'll probably kind of score late to put Oklahoma State away. So that's kind of my thoughts on that one. But that one's going to be a fun game to watch. If you're looking for a game on an over, that game right now is 74.5 points, and no, I'm not touching that, and I believe that they will get every bit of that. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and go to another night game. We've got an 8 o'clock game, and this is going to be this is really the the premier game of the week. Now, I know I said the big game of the week is going to be Michigan at Wisconsin, and I truly believe that that's going to be probably the biggest implication game of the week, but this one is touted as the big game because you've got two top 10 teams playing one another. You got number 7 Notre Dame going in and playing number 3 Georgia, and this one is the type of game that game day's looking for, that everybody's wanting to talk about, and Georgia's giving up 14.5 points in this game, and it really just comes down to, do you believe that Notre Dame is as good as what their ranking is? Are they good as a number 7 team, or are they just going to be that team that won 12 games last year but got blown out by when they actually played a really good team, a really, really good team in Clemson? And right now everybody's claiming Georgia's this really, really good team. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. My gut feeling is that probably 14 seems like a lot of points, but a lot of people are picking Georgia right now, and I'm just going to go against that, and I'm going to give me Notre Dame. I'll take the points, and hopefully Ian Book can come up with some heroics in this game, and Notre Dame can keep this one close, and maybe they can come out with a win in the end. I got a feeling that Georgia's going to win. I don't think by 14 points, though. It's the over-under is 56. No, I've got no, I've got no play on that at all. This will be a fun game to watch. I could see it getting out of hand, but I also could see it being a fun game with Notre Dame, staying in there with Georgia. Georgia really hasn't been tested, and so we'll see what they've got. So those are really my big picks, and kind of talk about the big games. Now, you've got a couple of interesting games that kind of I've got on my radar, and I've kind of got some picks for. So these are kind of my fun little games that I'm looking at. You've got Colorado at Arizona at number 24, Arizona, and that's a 7. Arizona State's giving up 7.5 points to Colorado, and I think that's going to be a fun little game. If you want to stay up for a 10 o'clock game and watch some Pac-12 football, you might get rewarded with that. I think this is going to be a fun game. You've got a Colorado team and a Arizona State team. Both of them are pretty decent programs, and both of them doing pretty well right now, to where I think it's going to be a closer game than what that 7.5 points is going to be. So I look to see it be a closer game. I would pick Arizona State an overall winner, like if I was picking an outright winner. But give me Colorado, and I'll take the 7.5 points all day long. But I think that'll be a fun nightcap for you. And another game I'm kind of keeping my eye on, just because I think that this one is just going to be fun and just kind of crazy. So Tennessee is just not. This is not going well for them this season. And Florida just lost Felipe Franks last week, and they pretty much lost him for the season. So they've got a new quarterback, and they're kind of bringing him in and that with it. So you got Tennessee coming into number 9 Florida, and Florida's giving up 14 points. This one, give me Tennessee. I'll take the points with this. This is going to be a fun one. This is kind of a rivalry in the SEC East anyways. And so, I think it's going to be kind of one of those interesting games to watch at noon if for some reason you just can't stand the Michigan State, Northwestern just kind of slobbering, goobering mess of a football game, and Michigan and Wisconsin's too slow for you. This might be kind of more something that might be a little bit more interesting. Like I said, you've got kind of Tennessee that's just all up in the air and really needs a win to kind of lift their spirits and bring them up. And then you've got a number 9 Florida team that's kind of just lost their quarterback, which he hadn't been playing well anyways. So if backup can come in there and do some stuff, they actually might improve their stock. So it's kind of one of those things to watch, kind of to see how Florida kind of comes back with it, and how Tennessee is, kind of really goes into and actually, has, they're playing a quality team, to see if they can get some of that talent that they have on that team to play. So I don't know. Those are kind of my picks for the week. I'm not excited about my picks. I haven't been doing great. I'm around a little under 500 right now, but I think this week, we've got some good ones, and I think that we're going to get up there. But I'm just excited for football this week. This is the type of stuff that we're looking for. We're finally starting to get into some key matchups. We're starting to look into some conference play, and we're starting to figure out who teams are and how they're going to be. So I'm excited by that. And, I hope you are. And that brings me to a question. What do you think? What are your picks this week? Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to lose? Who do you think's going to surprise us? Who do you think's going to let us down? I just want to know. I love college football, and more importantly, I just love talking about it. I love interacting, and having these discussions about college football, because it's just fun. It's a blast to talk about. And so I'd love to hear your comments down in the comments section. So let me know what you think. And so I know that you guys are busy, and I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.